Hi guys. I'm sitting here with no makeup and looking pretty rough, but I did mention in the end of my last video that if you liked my makeup look, that I would be adding a video with a tutorial. Just remember that I am not a professional and this is just stuff that works for me. I'd really love to know what works for you, and let's just get a conversation going of skincare and beauty tricks and products that you really love that maybe I should try out. So I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.
So I have already moisturized and primed my skin. Don't laugh, but this is what I prime my skin with. It is the Monistat Complete Care Chafing Gel. I've seen lots of YouTubers that swear by this, and since I've started using it actually, there's my dogs, I'm so sorry. It actually really does help the longevity of my makeup. So if you haven't tried this, don't knock it yet. My daughter says that she would never put this on her face, but if it works, who cares? Of course I'm not going to put something like super weird on my face, but yeah. So I feel like it's pretty much soaked into the skin. So I hope my lighting is better today. I am sitting at my makeup desk and I've tried to rearrange the lights a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in with my my foundation, which is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. Now I don't actually use this as a concealer, but I do use it as a good foundation. It's a medium to full coverage, lightweight, oil-free formula, long-wearing, water-resistant, and sweat-proof. I don't know if it does all of that, but it does give me a fuller coverage than the Bare Minerals that I was using, that I've been using for like the last couple of years. And so I really like this. So I'm just going to take, and it's a pump, which I really like. So I'm going to take a couple of pumps on the back of my hand. I wear the color Light Natural, shade 00. So that might tell you just how pale I actually am. So I have my Beauty Blender. I don't know if you guys use these or not, but they are phenomenal. I just get mine slightly damp, and I think I've talked about this before, but I'm just going to go in. I know it looks like a lot, but the Beauty Blender actually soaks up a whole lot of product, which is good and bad. It doesn't allow you to put too much on, which is a good thing, but you do kind of go through your foundation just a little bit faster. But to me, to get such a flawless finish, I like it. And it doesn't take me nearly as long as it used to using a brush or using my fingers. So I'm just going to put this all over my face and my forehead, and make sure you blend it all the way up into your hairline, down the sides of your face, kind of get that ear a little bit, because if you're like me and you're super, super pale on your face, but not as pale on your neck, then you kind of have to blend those together. Now, I always have trouble here around my nose, so I'm just kind of pressing it in to the creases in the side of my nose. And I try not to get too close around my eyes since I'm going to conceal, and I don't want to get that cakey look. And I'm going to bake today, so I'm going to show you what that entails. I've seen different opinions on this, whether or not middle-aged skin should be baked or not, but I like it. It gives me a more of a flawless finish under my eyes and conceals those fine lines that I have. So I'm taking it down the neck, and let's just double, triple check because I do not like cakey foundation or concealer. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my concealer now, and let's see, I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and this is the naturalizer. So it's got a bit of yellow tint in it, and that'll help color correct a little bit under your eyes. So I'm going to twist that up and take it down just a little bit down the sides of the nose. Oh, I don't want to use that on my chin because I want to use the color that matches my foundation, which is light pale. Go figure. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this on my chin. And my skin is actually getting a little bit better, so I'm pretty happy about that. I have been trying to be really consistent with my skincare regimen, which I've told you before, I've not always been the best at. I'm going to take this up on my eyelid as well and use it as an eye primer. I just find that works best for me, and it does keep my eyeshadow from creasing all day. So instead of really patting that, I am just going to roll over it and just get that excess off. Alien face. I don't know how people put on makeup without making weird alien faces, because I watch some people and they're like, you know, just I cannot do that. Just making sure I get it good and blended around my nose, because I'm also going to bake around my nose, which I don't see people doing, but it works for me. Okay, so next I'm going to use my Coty Airspun powder. This is just a loose face powder. It is in the color Translucent Extra Coverage. Really, really, really like this for baking. So I'm making a mess. But I'm going to take my same beauty blender, and I'm just going to get a crap ton. Yes, that is a legit word. Crap ton. And I'm going to make sure that I get it all in my fine lines here. And I'm going to take it all the way out. And if you see that your concealer is already creasing some, just pat it with your fingers and that'll take care of it. But I do like using the Beauty Blender. I don't know, I just kind of feel like it helps it set a little bit more. So like I said, I'm going to take it down the sides of the nose, because I tend to get super, super oily right there. And this also covers up my large pores. Now the Monistat chafing gel really helps with that too. So let's take a little powder and put it here on my eyes to set that concealer that I used. And just make sure I have a sufficient amount of powder here under my eyes. also have these lines around my mouth, and I like to bake those as well. So there's not a whole lot of places that I'm not baking, but I am just going to take my beauty blender and just kind of pat on some of this extra powder that's in the top. Not too much. And just kind of set everything. And with this powder, it just warms up with your body chemistry, and it kind of just melds your foundation and your concealer into one, and it really gives you a bright appearance. You can already see where it's not as powdery as it was before. So while I'm waiting on that, and it needs to stay on for about, 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and just work on my eyes. Now, I'm not going to use that. My eyebrows are a hot mess. I have white eyebrows in there, and I tend to go in and I pluck them. I know it's not good, but I do it. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Brow Precise Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer, and I am using the color Deep Brown, and this is actually a brow mascara. I told my middle daughter, who's 19 and loves makeup, that I was using a mascara, or maybe I told Hannah, who's 14, I can't remember. But anyway, she was like, "You put mascara on your eyebrows?" I'm like, a brow mascara? Yeah. So all I'm doing is just kind of combing it through, which fills in those little sparser areas, and this just kind of makes it set like a mascara would do. It goes on kind of wet, but then it will set. And I am just making a mess. Okay, so, and it takes my white eyebrow hairs and it just kind of colors them in. But I do have a brow pencil. I tend to not like it because, I do have full, thick brows. They just don't have a whole lot of shape to them. I haven't been to my brow girl in a while, and now she has the flu. I hope you feel better, Brittany. So they're just going to have to do like this. And I'm just going to pat them down. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to my eyes, and I'm using the Maybelline Color Tattoo Crayon 24 Hour in Bronze Truffle. And I'm just going to put this all over my lid. It's really hard to stay in focus with you and, see what I'm doing. I got that more on my nail than I did my eye. And this is just a pretty shimmery shade. Now with this, I do work one eye at a time, because once this is set, it does not budge. Now I'm going to go over this with some other colors, but this just makes a really good base. So I'm just going to go in here with my ring finger. And I use my ring finger because it is the one with the least amount of strength. And, with eyes, you really want to be gentle. But I do like this because I do have very sensitive eyes. I have trouble with a lot of eyeshadows. I have trouble with a lot of mascaras. And I find this works really well. So I'm just going to use my ring finger again and just kind of pat out those edges. Try to work eye to eye so that I can see that I have a good consistency between the two eyes. And like this one, I didn't get it as high as I got the other one. Now, if you're in a hurry and you just want to dash out the door, you know, this is good enough. This, I mean, at least for your eyes, you know, you put on this eyeshadow and some mascara, some blush, you know, wipe away all of this powder for sure. But then you're good to go. So I'm going to use my L'Oreal La Palette, oh my gosh, nude. I really like this. You know, I told you the last time that I guess I just really have a thing for nudes because I use them all the time. But I feel like you can, you know, really jazz up a look by adding a darker color in the corner. You can, you know, tightline your eyes, or, you know, there's all kinds of things you can do. So I'm going to take this Eco Tools brush. Again, I'm going to use the blend side, and I'm going to use this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth color over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is hard to do when you're looking at it the other way. This brown shade, which doesn't give you a name, it's just number 5. And I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush, knock it off, and then starting in the corner of the eye, and then windshield wiper motions, just go above that crease where the Maybelline eye tattoo stopped, and, you know, just build it up until you get the color that you want. And this is going to be, you know, kind of a dark look, so I'm going to have to lighten it up a bit. But I haven't had makeup on in several days because I haven't felt well. And like I've told you before, makeup just makes me feel better. I'm going to work on this eye now. I just feel more together. You know, versus when I'm sick and I don't have anything on and I'm just like, blah. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and just kind of blur the edges. And if you're like me and you don't own a whole lot of brushes, you can use the same brushes. I just have a washcloth in my lap that I just wipe off the excess of what I've done. I always have trouble, more so with my left eye than I do my right. Do y'all have that problem? You know, like when you paint your nails and, you know, your left hand's really good because you're using your right hand to do it if you're right-handed like me. But if you're left-handed, then I would assume that it would be the other way around. So, so far, this is what I've got. And yeah, it's looking a little dark, but I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to go in with this first shade right here, and I'm going to put that in the center of my eye using the other side of the brush, which is the smudge brush. And again, just kind of knock off that excess. And I'm just going to pat this all the way into the inner corner. All the way up to the crease, but not in the crease. Okay, and then I just put a little bit more on the center of the lid. And light brings color forward, and darkness brings it away. So when you want to highlight your eyes, you just kind of pop that color right in the center. And that'll give you a little bit more brightness. Now I'm going to take that same color and just kind of highlight my brow bone. going to take the fluffy side again, kind of clean it off, and just go in and smear these edges together. Not smear, but you know what I mean. Blur, blend. Still feel like my right eye is a little bit darker. But now I'm going to go into the, what number is that? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th from the left. And actually that's the wrong side. I'm going to use the smudger part again and knock off that excess and just kind of darken this outer corner. Take it up into the lid or the crease just a little bit, but not too much. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Kind of patting it in there with a circular motion and then taking it, the excess up into the crease. Okay, so now it's time to wipe off our bake. So I'm going to use a big fluffy brush. This is the one from Wet n Wild. Doesn't say what it is. And I'm going to use 2 different types of powder. I'm going to use my Revlon Color Stay in light medium. Ooh, medium. And then the excess that's in the top of the Coty Airspun. And I'm just going to whisk the excess away. And just kind of go over the whole face with what's left on the brush. Still feeling like the left side is not as dark as the right. But it is easy to clean up. And I'm just going to take just a little bit more of that whiter shade and pop that in the center. Because I feel like I've kind of wiped that away. Okay, good. My brow hairs, they are just crazy. They have a mind of their own. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So now I'm going to take this EcoTools Define and Shade brush, and I'm going to use the angled tip, and I'm just going to, actually I'm going to do this first. I'm going to use my Rimmel Scandalized Water Cold Kajal pencil in brown, and I'm just going to lightly, line my eyes. And this makes me so nervous because I'm not good at it. I will probably never attempt a wing liner on myself. Now, I wouldn't, mind letting somebody else do it on me, but I would never do it on myself because I'm just not good, which is kind of why I like this kind of liner, because then I can just go in and smudge it out. And I'm going to use that angled brush and try to get it as near to the lash line as possible. But I love this eye pencil, because once it's there, it's there. It's not moving. Alien face again. By doing this, getting it right down to the lash line, it makes your lashes look fuller. So I'm going to take that angled brush again and just kind of smudge it out. Now, to set this, looks like I have it a little heavier on this side than I do on this side. Okay, now to set that, I'm just going to go back into my Law palette and get the darkest brown color and just kind of stamp it on top. Don't really want to drag too much because you don't want to move that product if it hasn't set yet. But just by stamping it in and gently moving that around a little bit. Yeah, I did have foundation right there in the corner of my mouth, which is kind of gross. And now I'm going to do the other eye. Face. Such a dork. Okay, so again, technical difficulties. I did go in and just highlight the inner corner of my eyes. Now I'm going to use this Wet n Wild Color Con bronzer with an SPF of 15, and it's called Ticket to Brazil. And I'm going to use this bronzing brush from e.l.f. and just get a little bit on there. I'm not going to really do any like sculpting or anything like that, but just, you know, kind of bronze up the face a little bit. Make sure you get all the way back to your hairline, because, you know, you end up with this strip that kind of just starts, you know, randomly on your face, and it kind of looks silly. So, yeah. And just the excess I'm going to use to go along my jawline. All right, and then for blush, I am using the Maybelline New York in medium pink, and I'm using again an e.l.f. blush brush. So I just start on the apples of my cheeks and then just kind of pull it backwards. Again, the apples. Don't want to get too much, you know, just kind of give a healthy glow. Now, the only thing I do sculpt out, if you can call it that, is my nose. And I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. color contour palette. It doesn't say what color it is, but it looks like this. And I'm going to take this lighter shade here, get a little bit on my brush, and just kind of go down the sides of my nose. And it's not that my nose is big, it's just, I don't know, just, it could be slimmer. And this is a good way to do it. Now, a lot of people don't take it all the way down, but I tend to do that. And I'm just going to rub off, or just not rub off, but brush off the excess. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of highlighter, again from e.l.f. And this is a baked highlighter, which I really love, but I have trouble getting into. this color right here. And I don't get too much because, you know, like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing this for me. And this just gives you a slight, you know, like, hello. See that? I like it. Now I'm going to go down the bridge of the nose and the tip of the nose. My darn dogs. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of my finger, kind of go over that Cupid's bow and a little bit on the chin. I don't like using a whole lot because it makes you look really dewy, and for me that just makes me look oily. And last but not least, actually second to last but not least, I'm going to use this Merle Norman Happily Ever After liquid lip color. It's this beautiful pinky nude shade. I really like it. There's no fragrance. I don't know if that kind of stuff bothers you or not, but it does me. And I really like this because it does give me coverage for hours. If it's too matte for you, throw a little lip gloss on, especially in the center. And I like your lips look fuller. Pretty. I like it. All right, so now, last but not least, I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Set Makeup Extender Setting Spray. Shake it up, and okay, so not a little, but a lot. And what that'll do is if you are a little bit powdery or cakey, this just kind of makes everything blend together and just kind of blur together, and I really, really, really like it. And I think it's pretty comparable to like Urban Decay's All Nighter, and I don't know what else, but I really like it. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you like this video. If you do, subscribe and like the video and hit the little bell, and that will give you notifications that I have uploaded a new video. So I hope you all have a great day. Enjoy the rising barometer, and I will see you in my next video.